What's going on, guys? KR here. Just chilling at home. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a preview of my basement and all my trophies and my man cave, my pain cave, all my championship trophies. This is my hangout, play video games, hang out with kids, hang out with the dog. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and start right here. This is the old Zwift setup. Got that dialed, got the ski erg, the rower, and all my bikes lined up, but we'll get to those. But one of the coolest things right here is this cabinet. And these are all my championship plates and my rings and my Phoenixes from GNCC championships. So I'll get a close look. And then obviously I got all my Phoenixes here. These are all the GNCC overall trophies. But here's a couple cool ones. I've won snowshoe quite a few times. This one right here is my favorite snowshoe trophy, and probably one of my favorite trophies I've ever had. It's got a picture of my dad on it from 1991. It's a pretty iconic picture. Him in the snow back in the day. That sweet old fox gear. But yeah, so I've got a few snowboards hanging up over here on the wall, and got all my championship bikes here lined up, or not all of them, but most of them. This one right here is pretty cool. This is my 2010 XC2 championship bike. So this is my second championship at the pro level. And the only reason I actually have this bike is KTM did an ad when I first moved up to XC1, and they rebuilt a couple of 250Fs so they could, the way they did the ad. So this one was in Ohio on display, and I finally got them to bring it back to me. But yeah, it's pretty cool bike. It's looks ancient compared to all the other ones that I have, but it's definitely a cool bike, and I'm glad I got that back. It's already looks like it's a dinosaur, so it's cool to like look at the new bikes and then look at this, like what I started, like my second championship. So but here's my 13 bike, and then 14, then 15, and 15 was one of my I would say one of my best years in my career. I was able to win the GNCC championship, the National Enduro Championship. That's what this bike is with the red plate. It's got some dust on it. And also the first year, that's the 2015 was the first year that the Sprint Enduro Series was ran. So I won all three of those championships, and it was a pretty big year for me. And then I blew my knee out. So 16 was a tough year. 17 was tough too, battling with Thad. The last few years, 17, 18, and 2019 as well. So kept all my bikes. It's they're irreplaceable. They're not ever gonna, you can't just go buy these and make them look the same. These are my actual bikes that I raced on and won. So it's cool to have and kind of remember. So there's another cool piece of memorabilia. It's not as cool now because all the two-stroke pipes are like this, but this was a prototype version when FMF released this Titanium 2 muffler that kind of looks like the four-stroke version, and I raced this. This had to come off the bike. This was the only piece that came off the bike because they didn't want it being released. So there's two of them. We had both of them, and I got to keep one. So this was the 150 that I raced in Ironman in 2014. It came off of that, kind of hung on to it. I need to hang it on the wall. But and then here's a cool helmet. My dad had a similar helmet. He had the spider web on the back and the different color arrows for the events on it and the wrong ways. And I was sponsored by Motorsport that year, and they painted up this helmet to kind of replicate one of my dad's old helmets. And then I got a few other ones. Just like I said, I hang on to a lot of stuff that looks cool and that's irreplaceable. But this is a old this one's actually a stock Bell, but it's a Jeremy McGrath replica helmet, and I was a huge fan of Jeremy, so I had Bell send me one of those, and I wore it at Ironman at the breast cancer awareness race, and it's been hanging there ever since after the race. Here's a 6 days jersey from this past year, winning the world championship in Portugal, and also the first one that we won in Spain. So those are pretty special jerseys. And then I got this big old massive deer head right here. I got a couple of these bad boys. These are really cool. I like them. That's from X Factor in Indiana. And then I've got over here a really cool gas tank from the John Penton GNCC. It's a pretty special one because you know, Penton basically was the originator of KTM and brought the bikes to America to begin with. So what is now KTM started out as Penton motorcycles. So it's cool to have those tanks off. Those are actual tanks from a Penton motorcycle from, you know, the 70s. Then here are all my ISD helmets. I've been to six days, won twice. Got hurt at one. Didn't have a so good year the first time, but the cool thing about these helmets here is I left them dirty, so they've still got dirt on them from each country that we've been to, and I just kind of left it. I think it adds a little bit of character. It looks cool. They're not like super muddy, but they got the dirt from the countries. But this is pretty much it, guys. I mean, this is, like I said, this is my whole life down here. So I'm not a hoarder, but I've hung on to a lot of cool stuff, and I'm going to continue to hang on to it just because, you know, this stuff's irreplaceable, and you know, racing's short-lived. So I want to, you know, be able to hang on to it and look back, and, you know, when my kids are racing, and they can check out these old bikes here and be like, man, that's crazy. It makes noise. It's not electric. But yeah, so this is it. I can't really pick out one race or one championship because, you know, I've had such a good career, and been really, you know, racing's been really good to me. So, you know, it didn't start out like that. It wasn't always easy. As it seems easy now, it's still not. You know, I work hard to be where I'm at, and, you know, continue to have success. So, you know, that's the biggest thing. I was never the fastest mini bike rider. I was a bad mini bike rider, but I just kept my head to the, you know, kept my pencil sharp, kept grinding that axe. It's you know, it's all you can do is just try, and each day, and try to be better, and, you know, not give up. So picture of me right here from 07. I think this is like the first write-up I ever had in a magazine. So, like, I look at that kid right there, and I'm like, you know, he's hungry, he wants it. And that's how you got to be. You got to be hungry, you got to want it. Nobody's going to give it to you. You got to earn it. So just keep grinding, you know, grind it out, do the work when nobody else wants to do it, and everything else will fall in place. Thanks for watching. See you guys.